If you receive Social Security or Medicare, there are a few things happening in 2026 that are worth understanding clearly. Not because they are dramatic changes, not because your benefits are in danger, but because there's a lot of confusion right now about what is actually happening, who it applies to, and what, if anything, you need to do about it. And that confusion is costing people. Not always in money, sometimes in missed benefits, sometimes in unnecessary worry, sometimes in not knowing what a letter means or why it arrived. Today, we are going to clear all of that up. We are covering two things. First, a review process inside Social Security that affects disability recipients and only disability recipients, and that is moving faster in 2026 than it has in recent years. Second, a Medicare benefit that is already paid for, already available to almost every Medicare recipient in the country, and that most people have never once scheduled. One of those things requires action only if it applies to you. The other one applies to nearly everyone watching this, and the step to use it takes about 2 minutes on the phone. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which category you're in and exactly what to do. Let's get into it. Social Security disability. Let's start with Social Security disability benefits. If you or someone in your family receives SSDI or SSI based on a medical condition, there is a review process that may apply from time to time. It is called a continuing disability review. Now, before anything else, pause here for a moment, because this is the most important thing to understand about this entire section. This process does not apply to retirement benefits. If you are receiving Social Security because you reached retirement age, a continuing disability review has nothing to do with your payments. Your retirement benefit is not subject to medical review. You can move ahead to the Medicare section, and this part does not affect you. But if you receive disability benefits, SSDI or SSI based on a medical condition, this does matter. And in 2026, it matters more than it has in a while. Here is what a continuing disability review actually is. The Social Security Administration periodically checks whether someone receiving disability benefits still meets the medical requirements. The purpose is straightforward. Confirm that the person's condition has not improved to the point where they are now able to work. This is not a sudden action. It does not happen overnight. It does not mean a decision has already been made about your case. It begins with a request for information, usually a questionnaire, sometimes a form asking about current medical treatment, any recent doctor visits, changes in your daily activity, or any work you may have done. Social Security reviews what you send back. They look at the medical documentation, then they make a determination based on that evidence. The review schedule depends on the nature of the condition. If your condition was listed as likely to improve, reviews tend to come more frequently, sometimes every 6 to 18 months. If your condition is permanent or unlikely to improve, reviews are typically scheduled every 5 to 7 years. What has changed in 2026 is the pace. Social Security moved its disability review processing to a centralized federal office, and the result is that reviews are being completed more quickly than before. More cases are being processed. If you have been on disability for several years without a recent review, the probability of receiving a notice in the coming months is higher than it was last year. That does not mean your benefits are at risk. It means the system is catching up on a backlog. But it does mean being prepared matters. And being prepared is simple. When a review does come, it starts with paperwork, not with any immediate change to your benefits. You will receive a notice from the Social Security Administration. It will ask for information about your current medical situation. Your job is to respond to that notice, provide current documentation, and let Social Security complete the process. The decision is never based on assumptions. It is based on medical evidence. And here is the part that matters most practically. The single most protective thing a disability recipient can do, not just when a review arrives, but consistently, is maintain regular medical treatment and keep records current. Social Security's central question in every review is this: has the person's condition improved enough that they can now return to work? If your medical records show ongoing treatment, consistent doctor visits, documented symptoms, and current care, that question is much harder to answer yes to. The records speak for you. On the other hand, if there are long gaps in treatment, months where there are no doctor visits, no updated records, Social Security may interpret those gaps as evidence that your condition improved, even if it did not. Even if you simply had trouble getting appointments or accessing care, the gap itself becomes a problem. This is not about gaming the system. It is about making sure the records reflect your actual situation. Now, if you do receive a review notice, there is one specific number to know. If Social Security completes a review and determines that your benefits should end, and you want to appeal that decision while continuing to receive payments during the appeal process, you must file that appeal within 10 business days of receiving the termination notice. 10 business days. That window is short. Miss it, and your payments stop while you wait for a hearing, which can take months. So if a letter arrives, read it carefully. Understand what it is asking. Respond promptly. And if it ever says your benefits are being terminated, do not wait to get help. Contact Social Security or a benefits counselor within that 10-day window. We will come back to where to find help at the end of this video. Now, before we move to Medicare, I want to be clear about something. Everything in that last section applies only if you receive disability benefits. If you are on retirement Social Security, none of that affects you. What comes next is different. What comes next applies to almost everyone on Medicare. It is not about a risk. It is not about a review. It is about a benefit that already exists, already paid for, and that most people are simply not using. Stay with me, because this next part is the one most people will find the most immediately useful. Let's talk about Medicare. Specifically, let's talk about a preventative benefit that is available to every Medicare Part B recipient once every 12 months, that costs you nothing, and that most people have never scheduled. It is called the Medicare Annual Wellness Visit. Now, before you assume you already know what this is, pause, because most people confuse this with a regular checkup. They are not the same thing. A regular physical exam is a clinical evaluation. Your doctor checks your body, blood pressure, heart rate, reflexes, lungs. You may get lab work. It has a separate billing code, and depending on your plan, it may have a copay. The Medicare Annual Wellness Visit is different. It is a preventative planning appointment. The purpose is not to examine what is wrong right now. The purpose is to look at your overall health picture, identify risks before they become problems, and build a prevention plan specific to you. During this visit, your doctor or provider will review your complete medical history. They will go over your current medications and look for any interactions or concerns. They will assess your fall risk, which for people over 65 is one of the most significant health factors there is, because a serious fall can change everything. They will evaluate your ability to handle daily activities. They will screen for depression, and they will assess cognitive function, memory, concentration, judgment. That last part is worth its own moment. The cognitive screening included in the Medicare Annual Wellness Visit is a brief, structured assessment that looks for early signs of memory problems or cognitive decline. It is not a long test. It is not frightening, but what it is early detection. Catching the beginning signs of dementia before they become obvious opens doors to interventions, planning, and medications that are simply not available once the condition has progressed. The people who most need the screening are often the least likely to ask for it on their own. This visit makes it automatic. Zero copay, zero deductible, fully covered by Medicare Part B, as long as your doctor accepts Medicare assignment, which most primary care physicians do. And yet, most Medicare recipients have never scheduled one. Not because it is hard to get, because nobody explained how to ask for it. Why this visit matters more than people realize. The real value of the Medicare Annual Wellness Visit is not any single test or measurement. It is the consistency of it. When you have this visit once a year, your doctor builds a record of your health over time. They can see changes, a blood pressure reading that shifted slightly, a medication combination that was fine last year but creates a concern this year, a balance issue that was not present 18 months ago, a memory question you answered differently than before. These are the things that get missed in a one-time appointment or an urgent care visit. They are the things that, when caught early, are manageable. When caught late, they are not. And there is something else. This visit also gives you something many people do not have, a written prevention plan. A document that reflects your specific risk factors, your family history, and the steps your doctor recommends to protect your health going forward. Not generic advice, a plan for you. Many people go years without that kind of structured review. They see the doctor when something is wrong, they treat the problem in front of them and leave. The Medicare Annual Wellness Visit is the opposite of that. It is proactive. It is designed to find the next problem before it finds you. Exactly how to schedule it. The process to schedule this visit is simple, but the specific words you use when you call matter. Call your primary care doctor's office. When someone answers, say this: "I would like to schedule my Medicare Annual Wellness Visit." Use those exact words, Medicare Annual Wellness Visit. Here's why that matters. If you call and simply ask for a checkup or an annual physical, the office may schedule a different type of appointment, one that does not have the same zero-cost coverage under Medicare. The billing code for an annual wellness visit is specific. Using the correct name ensures it gets booked correctly. If you are in your first 12 months of Medicare Part B, your first appointment will be slightly different. It is called the Welcome to Medicare Preventive Visit. It is also fully covered. If you are not sure which one applies to you, call your doctor's office, tell them how long you have had Medicare Part B, and they'll sort it out. The important thing is to call. Today, if possible. This is a benefit that is already paid for. Every month you wait is a month you are not using something that belongs to you. The annual wellness visit is the most underused Medicare benefit, but it is not the only preventative service available. Medicare Part B covers cardiovascular screenings, cholesterol, lipids, and triglyceride checks once every 5 years at no cost to you. If you have risk factors for diabetes, Medicare covers diabetes screenings twice per year at no cost to you. Colorectal cancer screenings are covered based on age and risk guidelines. Lung cancer screenings are available for current or former heavy smokers between the ages of 50 and 77. Bone density testing is available for women who qualify. Depression screenings are covered once per year at no cost during any qualifying visit. And all vaccines recommended by the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, including shingles, pneumonia, flu, COVID-19, and RSV, are covered at no cost to you under Medicare Part B or Part D, depending on how they are administered. One more update worth knowing for 2026. Pharmacists can now administer tests for strep throat, influenza, and RSV and bill Medicare directly for those services. This is especially useful for people in areas where same-day doctor appointments are hard to get. You can walk into a participating pharmacy, get tested, and Medicare covers it. These services exist. They are already part of your coverage. Using them is not extra, it's just using what you have already paid for. Let's bring it all together. If you receive Social Security disability benefits, SSDI or SSI, be aware that continuing disability reviews are being processed more quickly in 2026. Keep your medical records current, maintain consistent treatment, and if a review notice arrives, respond promptly. And if you ever receive a termination notice, know that the window to appeal while keeping your benefits is 10 business days. If you are on Medicare Part B, you have a free annual wellness visit available every 12 months. It includes a cognitive screening, fall risk evaluation, depression assessment, and a personalized prevention plan. Call your doctor's office today and ask for it by name, the Medicare Annual Wellness Visit. Those exact words ensure it gets booked correctly and covered completely. And if you have questions about your specific situation, two resources are always available. Medicare can be reached at 1-800-MEDICARE. Social Security can be reached at 1-800-772-1213. If this video helped make things clearer, share it with someone you know who is on Medicare or receiving disability benefits. A lot of people have questions about this and just haven't found a clear answer yet.